Good evening, everyone. I looked up at the camera then. What a waste of time that was. Bad habit. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to tonight's Boys from the Baltic Star. It is Saturday night, and I'm alone with you. Absolutely alone with you, dear viewers. Just you and I, and the voices in our heads keeping us entertained. Thank you for joining us tonight on the channel. It is Saturday night, and on Saturday night here on the Boys from the Baltic Star, we play a range of different games, a range of different activities, and tonight we're continuing with part two of Darkness, a game that is as much an experience as anything else, and is one that we recommend you pour yourself a drink, turn off the lights or close your eyes, and just settle back and listen. There are no webcams, there's nothing on screen that will take your attention. It's as pure a form as we possibly can achieve. So please stay around with us for the next couple of hours. There'll be a short break in the middle where you can blink in the light if you need to. If you need the toilet, I do recommend turning the light on, especially men. And I just hope that we have a splendid time together. That giggle, that cackle, I'm going with cackle, may tell you that I am not in fact alone. That is the first cunning trick that the darkness has played on you, dear friends. For I am joined by three, can you believe it? Three other voices in the dark. They're all wonderful people. They are the players of tonight's game. The first person I can feel, I'm putting my hand out there, I'm having a touch around. I've got a hold of something. It's a lady shape.
That's Ewan. He's so pretty.
He's so pretty. It's our wonderful friends of the show and long-time honorary boy. It is the magnificent Sock Fiddler. Good evening, Socks. How are you?
I'm magnificent in the darkness this evening.
Yeah, I've never seen you look so good.
Yeah, I mean, this confirms everything people said about my looks, really.
Oh,
no, it's
how
good.
you? How I was gonna say, how are you keeping? It's good. Always good to hear from you.
All right, on the up and up, I think. And also, look, Cold Frog turned up. Hooray! Hello. I feel like I have to call him out specifically because he hates it. So hi. There you go.
If he hates it, he shouldn't post. That's all I'm saying.
All right, exactly.
Exactly. He does it because deep down he wants to be called out.
See, told you.
An important question that we're all interested in, Fox, is who's winning Eurovision this year? Have you looked into it yet?
I think we're in with a good chance. I do. Ooh. We've got a true believer who doesn't have any kind of cynical, I must build a song to fit this shape. He's genuinely excited. He's doing well across Europe. And yeah, I think we got a good chance.
There you go, viewers. If you're of the betting type, don't bother because Britain lose anyway, however good the song
is. But I also haven't had time to... I was going to post all the songs with a little bit of, how I normally do. I will try and get that done this week. So there will be a sweepstake going up. I just can't tell you when.
Exclamation mark Discord. Join the Discord and get involved.
Don't post that now. I haven't updated the link. I'll do that later.
Join the Discord. Every year, Socks runs a Eurovision sweepstake and we'll put in for a couple of countries and see how we go. Just as a little bit of fun to a traditional event. Well, it's a delight to hear from you first. I almost feel like I don't need to talk to the others. Shall you and I just fool around in the dark?
Yeah, let's just do this. Oh, boy.
That's enough. There's another episode, maybe another time. Hopefully there'll be a dark tent when we return to Cecil and Cecily next time.
Cool. We better make it worth Bucky's while then, eh? All right, Bucky.
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you.
There he is, the voice in the dark, moseying around, doing a little bit of line dancing while no one can see him. It is the smartest man in any dark room who lives his entire life in a dark room. And he's got so accustomed to the dark that he's evolved so that his eyes have vanished and are replaced with extra noses. It is Ben. Good evening, Ben. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And I think photography is a legitimate hobby. And if anything, the part of me that's become vestigial is the brain. I don't think I use it enough.
Oh, well, I'll make sure there's some very complicated moments for you this evening. That'll be helpful.
Excellent, thank you. I do appreciate that.
Good. Well, it's important that you keep using it because you are the smartest man, and we wouldn't want you to lose that honour to anyone who might come as a guest at some point. You won't lose it to us, but maybe a guest.
Oh, it's always possible.
Oh, last night I asked you to tell us something interesting about Ewan. So tonight, could you tell us something interesting about Ewan?
Just for a change, you mean?
Exactly.
Okay. No.
I can.
No, wait. Yes, I have one.
Okay.
So there are a lot of things that people who are not familiar with us in the flesh may not know, and one of them is that when Ewan is seen on screen, he's the only one of us who appears essentially life size.
Amazing.
Of course, our regular Voice in the Baltic Star real life hot tub sessions means we're very aware of each other in the flesh. So he is.
We're sensually aware of each other. It sounds like.
Sensually aware. Speaking of which, I'm forcing my arm through the bubbles of the bubble bath, and I think I have hold of Ewan's shoulder. I think.
Can I just ask when did this become a bubble bath stream? When did that happen?
It's always been a bubble bath stream. Did you not get the memo?
No, I did not get that memo. I mean, if it's going to be bubble bath, I at least want champagne and some kind of cracker situation.
We did literally, in honour of Twitch streamers everywhere, do several hot tub episodes of Traveller.
Exactly.
Were they the ones that I missed entirely?
Quite possibly. They were on the seamstress.
The dream. And I missed it.
One day it'll happen again. We'll do a live show at some point. But the man who'll be front and centre of that is the housewife's favourite. The floof, and he's a Floofmeister General. He might get quite big and floofy if he spends too much time in there. My brother from another mother, Ewan. Good evening, Ewan. How are you?
Good evening, disembodied voice of Luke. I'm good, thanks. I'd also like to take this moment to express my appreciation to you and Ben for the hot tub sessions and the 2 inches of water, which is sufficient for someone of my stature to enter a hot tub. But obviously leaves a bit wanting for yourself and Ben. It is appreciated.
It does mean parts of me aren't too well covered by bubbles, I guess. So I would prefer a little bit of extra depth. I'm getting quite embarrassed in our very shallow hot tub sessions.
Perhaps if we invested in like a tiny little miniature sailing ship, I could just sail around on that rather than drowning in a regular filled hot tub. That'd be good.
That would be good. I look forward to it. I think that's something that we can definitely look into with all the riches that we make from our Twitch subscribers.
Thanks.
We'd like to thank our Twitch subscribers. We've been covering our shortfall from our conventions for the last couple of years, and we used to eat out on it. We used to eat out and drink out. Now it just covers our debts. Thatcher's Britain, isn't it?
Bets and pool cleaning service.
Exactly. We'll spend it on a boat. I'm up for that. That'd be nice. Anyway, I think that's enough of that.
Well, now we've made it weird.
Yeah, I know. And we're all
Let's
in the
play
dark.
a scary game.
And I've still got my hand on Ewan's shoulder.
Wow, that's not Ewan's shoulder.
That's not.
I love you so much, Ewan.
Well, on that bombshell, I'm bringing my hands well and truly back into my own personal space. And remember, everyone, put a hula hoop around you. That is your personal space. You can enter without your say-so. We're all about consent on the Baltic Star.
For people that are my size, the crisp hula hoops work very well.
Jesus. I think you just killed Luke. I think you've actually killed him.
Oh, my microphone turned itself down by an absolute load.
Fantastic. Of course it did.
On that bombshell. Right, are we ready to go while I wipe tears from your eyes?
I think we should.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
That's wonderful. Well, I'm moving this camera away totally because I keep looking at it out of bad habits. Well, out of good habit, I guess, but not for this game. Okay, lights off, everyone, if they aren't already. Fill your glasses. Fill your glasses before you turn the lights off. That's a
No, I want a danger
hint.
drink.
Stick a finger in it, and then you can tell when it hits the tip of your finger.
Wait, stick a finger
When
in
your tip of
what?
your finger gets wet, then stop pouring. Otherwise, the glass will overflow.
Yeah, but I don't see how that's going to help me know where my drink is.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, but it'll
Choosing
help
to
you know
drink out
when
of a
to
black
stop-
mug was
when to
probably a
stop
poor
pouring.
choice.
oh no. Right.
All right, serious. I'm serious now.
Okay. So in a moment, in a single moment, Ben, Ewan, and Socks, they sort of vanish away to be replaced by Theo, Maxwell, and Jane. At least, I think it's Theo, Maxwell, and Jane. You see, I can't see them. They can't see each other. They can't even see the hand in front of their faces. We're pretty certain they have hands. They've all touched things. They've fondled certain items, a small rodent, some metal cans, some plastic card shaped and sized items, pipes, paper, walls, shelving, a dead body, all the usual sort of things you might run into in the dark. And I remember where we left it last night, with the click of a dictaphone and the message. All three of you hear a voice ring out in the darkness. Theo, Maxwell, Davinson, Jane, Claire. Inside this box is food and drink. I'm afraid you'll be in this space for a long time. Make sure your supplies last. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry.
Well, who the hell is Claire?
Yeah, good question. I'm going to
More
actually
importantly,
shout out
where
and
the
see
hell is Claire?
if I can get Claire to answer. I'm going to call out Claire.
It's the loudest that any of you have shouted out, have called out at this minute. The space is quite deadened, I guess. There's metal walls as you felt, but you can't quite get a sense of the size of the space. There's no echo. And perhaps more tellingly, there's no response.
Here's a thought. Somebody killed that guy in that room, and they're probably still here. So maybe shouting out loudly into the darkness, not the best idea you ever had.
Maybe it was Claire.
Maybe we don't necessarily want to find Claire then.
Unless it was one of you.
I can't remember enough to say it wasn't me, but I can tell you it's not in my character normally to go around killing people.
Same here, but I can't completely rule it out. I mean, for all I know, I reacted badly if someone attacked me or something.
Although, if someone killed them, does that imply that that we weren't always in the dark.
Maybe. We don't know if someone killed him. It's possible he died of entirely natural, terrified causes in the dark.
Well, what did you patted him down, right? What did you feel? Was there blood, a knife, rigor, frothing at the mouth?
He'd been dead for a while, I can tell you that. Not exactly how long. It didn't feel like he... I suspect it wasn't old age, put it that way.
Was he cold?
Very.
Okay.
Cold, very stiff and rigid, and slightly crackly when you moved a limb.
Was he completely rigid?
Well, I didn't check everywhere, but yeah, probably. The shoulder was, and that's usually a pretty good indicator.
Okay. Well, I can tell you, I don't know how I know, but rigor mortis starts around 3 hours after death and lasts until about 36 hours. And the body goes completely cool to the touch after 24.
Okay, so we're looking something in the handful of hours to a day and a bit, probably.
I'd say if he's that cold now, between 12 and 24 hours.
Okay, all right. That could be helpful.
I don't know how I know that, though. And also, shall we check ourselves for injury? It might be that in the tension and excitement and terror, we just haven't noticed that we're hurt. So can we take a moment to just make sure that we're all safe and uninjured?
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, good idea. I'll start sort of pressing all over to see if I can detect any bruises or anything that comes up sore if pressed.
You aren't aware of how your body should feel necessarily, perhaps, but from what you can tell, it doesn't feel like there's pain.
Okay, all right.
Are there any telltale signs of injuries like scabs or stiffness, inflammation, hot spots?
You run your hands over yourself, Jane. There's nothing of that sort. From what you can tell,
Okay.
Your body is as it should be.
I'm wearing a kind of jumpsuit or something. Is everyone else in the same kind of stuff?
You've got a bloody rat tied in your sleeve. You're not wearing it. You're half wearing it out.
Half
best.
wearing a jumpsuit, yes.
I think I'm in a jumpsuit. Also, I'm zipping. I'm going to try and find the zip and make it go up and down a bit.
You do find the zip and you find that you are indeed in some kind of jumpsuit.
Am I wearing underwear underneath the jumpsuit?
You appear to be totally naked under the jumpsuit.
Great. That's great.
But as we said before, the temperature in the room, it's that temperature where you feel neither hot nor cold. There's no breeze as you zip up and down. You don't feel uncomfortable in any way, temperature-wise or exposure-wise, if that makes sense.
Okay. What about you, Maxwell?
Yeah, I think so. He'll pat himself down for jumpsuit and yeah, I think. Sorry.
There is nothing strange that you can feel.
Feels about the same.
Maxwell, can you roll a dice, please?
Hmm.
Having just sort of patted yourself down.
That's a 4. Sorry, I struggled to see that.
As you pat yourself down and sort of feeling it for differences or changes, your mind suddenly has a flash of a detail of your home from your youth, which you decide to share, as everyone has been doing so far.
Yeah. It it's odd though. I get the feeling that this doesn't necessarily feel strange. Like maybe I had one of these. I did. I had a jumpsuit in my regular wardrobe. In fact, I can't remember anything other than different jumpsuits in my home. Is that weird?
It's a bit weird.
A little bit weird.
Were you like a mechanic?
It feels really natural.
I think mechanic or serial killer are the two most likely.
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have. Maybe I shouldn't have shared that.
No, I applaud the honesty.
Well, I think it's important. We can't see each other. The least we can do is be honest.
I feel we need to consider why we're here. So, like, have we been kidnapped? Is this some kind of weird, nasty scenario? Did somebody put us here for our own safety? Is it just an experiment? Did we sign up for an experiment?
The nature of the message and the food and water supplies implies to me that we're here for safety or choice.
The dead body, I feel, directly contradicts that.
I do. In principle, we're here for safety or through choice.
I'm not sure the care routine that Darrington experienced was right at the top of the order.
Also, are we absolutely sure that's him?
No. I mean, technically, that could be Claire. Or someone else entirely.
I mean, if they recorded that message after they killed that person, maybe there were 6 of us to start with. And they knew that one was dead, so why bother putting their name on a recording?
I mean, you're absolutely right. Truthfully, I'm open to any sensible suggestion, but I do have another question, and I'm not trying to say we shouldn't try to puzzle out alternative reasons for why we're here, but I do have another question as well, which is, how are we here? We haven't sort of found a door or anything yet.
Yeah.
I mean, rooms that have people in them have ways of getting in and out, right?
Yeah.
Should we agree on some basic rules? Like, we all stay together. Like, we're all honest with each other.
Rule number 1, we don't talk about the dead body.
Why not?
Well, there's nothing to be learned from it, is there?
Well, except pretending it's not there means it's more likely to happen again if there is somebody on the loose.
Well, I mean, we can talk about this person on the loose if there's people on the loose. Okay. Ignore that rule. What? Honesty, I think, is good.
Yeah, same here.
That works.
Okay.
I think if we're going to survive this, working together is probably a good idea. So let's agree that whatever happens, we stick together and we help each other out.
Yeah, agreed.
Stick together. Let's. I don't want to partition this food. This is mine. This is yours. This is yours. I think we're just mindful, and when one of us gets thirsty, we just have what we need more than what we want. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
To each according to their need.
But can I feel on the shelves, Luke, and see if there's a bag or something flexible that I can carry things in? Because I want to take as much of this food with us as we can, and I want to be able to carry it so my hands are free.
Of course, of course. So, so far you've found, I would say, 4 of those metal cans. You found 2 outside of the box, and you
So
found
6
another
cans of
couple.
water. So you're saying 8 cans of water?
Oh, so was it 6 in the box? Yes, so 8 in total.
Yeah.
And then you've got some food packages, some soft, some crunchy, all in plastic, like wrapped in plastic.
Okay, so
You have no idea what they are. They just feel like they're probably food. They have that sense to them.
yeah.
And that's all you've got so far. That wise, as you feel around, there's more of those. Another one of those sort of card things. There's piles
Okay.
of paper. The the dot matrix paper.
I'm going to
There's,
collect the card.
yeah.
I don't care about the paper.
So you had one last time, so that you now have 2 cards.
Yeah.
And as you feel around further, you do feel something that isn't quite what you want, in that it's not a bag, but it does appear to be the closest thing you could potentially get to carry, which is like a box, maybe with a lid, almost like a shoe box, I guess, is probably the closest thing you could find. I wouldn't know if it's a shoe box or not, but it has that sort of...
Do our boiler suits have pockets?
The men's ones do.
The men's ones do.
But naturally.
No.
Oh, so
Yeah.
much.
Wow.
They,
There goes half the internet.
I feel the plight of women worldwide.
Right. Fine.
All the boiler suits have pockets.
Okay. Are they cinched around the waist? Is there like a cord that tightens the waist, or are they just completely baggy top to bottom?
They're baggy.
Okay. Are we wearing socks? You said that we've got big, heavy boots on. Have we got socks underneath to protect us from blisters?
You're not wearing socks.
That's ironic.
No socks here.
No socks.
Okay.
You do have sleeves, of course, which have proven themselves to be very useful at containing things.
I would disagree with that statement, but yes.
Containing holding food.
Socks questions from Socks. Okay, I'm going to. I want to carry. What I can feel here is, I think 8 cans of water. Remember, I opened one and it didn't smell or taste or anything, and
Yep.
so that's fine.
You've got 1 that's open and 7 that's sealed.
Okay, so I'm going to have a couple of sips of that. And then I'm drinking some water from the can I opened. It tastes completely fine. Does anybody else want some? Or do you want to wait to see if I die?
I'm not thirsty at the minute, but thanks.
Theo?
Yeah, I'll have a little, thank you.
Okay. I'm going to put my hand out and click my finger. And then when you touch my hand, I'm going to guide the can into your hand. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that does. I will place one underneath it, if you like, and one around it before taking it. So try and not drop it, basically.
Okay. Yeah, so we just do that quite carefully, that exchange. So I've drunk about half of it because Maxwell said no, so I've left the other half for you. So there's a box here, but it's gonna need... Can I take the shoelaces out of my boots?
There are no shoelaces.
Oh, Luke, you are tricky. Fine, I put the food in the box and I pick the box up, but I take it it's like a shoebox so I can carry it under one arm, so I've still got one arm free.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, no problem.
So there's a certain amount of rustling and stuff. And now I've got a box of food. Okay.
The cough barely echoes in the deadened space.
How are you both feeling after the drink?
Like I want to get moving.
There is no burning or no awkward sensation. It does indeed feel like it is refreshing water, but at tepid temperature, the same temperature as the space around.
Yeah. Well, I've left some in the can, so I'm going to say to Maxwell,
Is that for your little friend?
would you like some?
No. Honestly, I wasn't waiting to see if you die or anything. I'm okay for the minute. But thank you.
That's fine. Obviously, this is a can. It doesn't reseal, does it? There's no easy way to do that.
No.
And of course, I don't have any pockets because that part of my boiler suit is sort of inside out and wrapped around my waist. But I do have 2 hands and nothing really in particular to put in either of them. So,
So are you saying that the sleeve with, I'm going to call him Mussolini. Go ahead and ask me why. Go on, you know you wanna.
why is the rat called Mussolini?
No, don't do it, Ben.
Because he used to keep his armies in his sleeves.
Nice.
It was a trap.
Come on.
It was a trap. Okay.
Anyway,
Yeah,
so,
the joke fell flat among the ears, like the air around them.
are you saying that the sleeve with Mussolini in it is just like hanging loose and wobbling about as you walk?
Well, not exactly. I sort of wrapped them around me, so I've tied the ends together of one sleeve with the rat in and one sleeve that doesn't.
Oh, that's gonna end well, I feel. Well, I've got this bag of food. You two lead the way. Let's figure a way out, or at least a bathroom, or water. Maybe we can find some running water in a tap. Or I want to be not near that body. To be honest, I just want to not be there.
Yeah, let's keep going.
And it is slowly sort of dawning on me that there's a chance the body died of either bubonic plague or Weil's disease. But nonetheless, we press on. So essentially, the room, as I understand it, is loosely rectangular. I'm aware we can't necessarily measure it to the millimetre, but it's essentially rectangular. I think we've tried most of it for doors on the walls, but we have to still complete the side with that shelving on, I think.
No, the shelving's in the corner with a desk.
Okay.
So,
can I go to the?
There's a cat in here.
I think that's Mussolini.
Mussolini, thank you.
Can I go to the? If I've got this right, the right-hand edge of that shelving unit.
You can. You take just a couple of side steps to get there. As you face the unit, Jane is to your left, and as you remember, further to the left is the corner.
Yep. Then can I, next to that shelving unit, go forward and find the wall?
Just a step forward as you reach out your left arm. Mm-hmm. You do indeed. You scrape your forearm slightly against the edge of the shelving as you're looking, which causes a little discomfort but no injury. And then your fingertips do indeed find the metallic wall behind.
Okay. and then I'd like to basically go along to the right until I find the other corner or a door or anything that isn't just wall.
Of course. Breaking one of the first rules that the three of you made,
Mhm.
you leave the two of them behind and
Mhm.
continue to walk forwards. Your
But we
hand,
don't know.
your fingers running silently across the metal. You walk slowly, carefully. Do you keep the other hand out in front of you? How are you? How are you running this?
Yeah, the other hand will be holding a can of water, but I will indeed hold it out a little way in front of me. And I suppose I'll be as far from the wall as I can easily get, if that makes sense. Almost at full arm's length.
Are you communicating any of this to us?
Not yet.
Great.
As you walk, your fingers are generally flitting over the metal. There are times where you're feeling slight bobbling, and there are other times where they run across and catch the edge of paper, but that might be posters or such like. We've talked about this before, of course, that there appears to be patches of paper. But other than that, it continues for 2 meters, 3 meters.
Okay, I'm stopping
4
about
meters.
there.
Okay.
After I've gone a couple of meters, I'm then going to say, okay, the wall to the right of the shelving continues for a couple of meters. I've headed off in that direction a little way, but there doesn't seem to be anything other than some posters or bits of paper tacked to the wall here.
Well, that's the way we need to go. We've been I've traced the wall all the way around to here. That's the direction we haven't traced. So let's just keep going that way.
I think so.
Do you?
Yeah, okay. That
Okay,
sounds like.
I'm going to keep going. Now, am I right in saying, based on the voices and everything, I think that Maxwell is behind Jane if she starts working along the wall behind me?
What was Maxwell? Where did you finish up in relation to the other two by the shelving? Were you still at your pipe section?
From my memory, I think I started making my way towards them from the pipe section.
Okay. Right. It's not far. It's only a meter or two from where the pipe, that T junction, to the wall. So as they continue, you can indeed touch the shelving as the others felt. Pretty much just as Jane, if you are following.
Yeah.
So Jane, you almost feel Jane's presence pass in front of you from your left to right, following Theo. And briefly after that, your hand makes contact with the shelving. And now Jane is pretty much directly to your right as you face at the wall, and Theo is a few meters further on that way.
Can I just take a moment to brush my hands along the shelves and just see if there's anything more of interest there?
Feel? You want to feel if there's anything more?
Yes. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. By the way,
Metaphorically
I have another suggestion. Theo, you have the tin can, so can you occasionally tap it with your fingers so we can hear where you are at all times?
Yes. I could just tap a fingernail against it as I go, yeah.
I've got the crackly packets of crisps and things, so I can occasionally crinkle those.
Yep, that makes sense, yeah.
I can continue whistling my song if you want.
No, anything but that. Can you, there's some paper, can you feel the paper that's there? If you get some paper, you can crumple that and tear it and just make paper noise.
There is indeed a couple of piles of that dot matrix printer paper. There's some odds and ends, some bits and pieces of stuff, a couple of old maybe bits of wire as you reach further up, higher than Jane made. Of course, Jane found the box, and some little bits of wiring. Just there's nothing of note, if that makes sense. Just
can I?
it might be of note, but can't see anything. It might be the most important documents in the world. It might be bearing bonds worth millions and millions of pounds, but to you, it's just piles of paper.
Can I stuff a few bits of wire in one of my pockets, and then I'll pick up a bit of the paper, and I'll tear a reasonably thin strip off of it, and you know where you put a piece of grass in between your thumbs, and you blow between it, and it makes a horrible, like, really high pitched duck-esque noise. I'll do that.
I know the
they know where
theory.
I am. Yeah, we'll do that.
The eerie, rasping duck noise blows out into the darkness, and you weren't expecting it, Theo, and it causes you to jump a little bit.
Well, that's subtle. Good job.
Okay, I'm going to press on a bit further now, and I am going to tap the can with my fingernail as I go.
Another meter, 2 meters, 3 meters, 4 meters, 5 meters. Just nothing of note on the wall. 6 meters, 7 meters, 8 meters.
Are we going to
9
get back to
meters.
where we started?
10 meters.
Okay, I'm stopping now.
I'm stopping too. Max?
Yeah. We'll also stop.
Okay.
Just a quick point. Which wall are you running along? Because one of us should probably run along the other one just to make sure.
Nope. We're staying together, remember?
The one
No,
to
I mean the
to
left
the
or the
right
right
and
wall.
behind the shelving. You know, behind the shelving, but heading to the right.
But we came from that way.
That's the way I'm going now.
Yeah, so I came down the left wall, and then we found the stuff in the corner, and I've already traced 3 corners. That was my 3rd corner.
Yeah. So the corner
So
we're
now we're
heading
looking-
towards is the one we don't know anything about,
Exactly.
if it's a corner. But since...
One way or another, this wall has to end.
Or I'm currently in a corridor that branches off from it, if you know what I mean. So
That's fine too.
so what I'm going to do is... I have no idea if I'm going to be able to tell, but if I put my back to the wall that I'm following and start speaking in that direction, does it feel like there's a closer echo, or is it still just dead?
The air, of course, is quite dead anyway. There's no real echo in the space. I guess I want you to roll a D10 for me, please, Ben.
A
Oh,
D10.
a D10, you lucky bean!
This calls for a duck dice. Well, that's a 1.
Classic.
As you lean against the wall and you sort of face out into the unknown and start to make noise looking for that echo, there's a sudden flash into your mind of a childhood memory. Something of this has triggered a memory from your childhood, which, as you need an echo anyway, you decide to share with the other 2.
It's... If you're wondering about why I'm talking so loudly, I'm just trying to see if I can detect anything bouncing off a closer wall without actually letting go of this one and stepping off into the unknown.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just given me this odd recollection of, as a young child, exploring a cave by the beach. And I seem to remember, I don't think it'll be helpful, it's not necessarily something I can quantify, but as you walked through, because of the angles of the walls around, every pace, it just sounded a little bit different as you moved. And I don't I don't have enough to connect that experience to anything else in my life, at least not yet. But I do remember that feeling of the way the sound changed. I'm just I just can't connect it to who I am or why.
It's okay. Let's just keep going.
What you do notice, Theo, is there is a difference between your long description there and Jane's short response, that it does seem like your voice bounces back quicker than hers and where she is, just a few meters behind you.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to say I think it is a bit different. Jane, can you close up until you get to me?
Okay. I walk until I bump into Theo.
Yeah, there shouldn't be anything between you and me. I didn't encounter anything along that wall.
No, it's fine.
The-
Ow! I'm
the
here.
small rodent squeaks slightly at the sudden bump.
Shut up, Mussolini.
Okay. Are you with us, Maxwell?
Yeah. I'm with you. Hopefully.
Okay. I'm going to, stand with my back to the wall, plant both palms against it so I can square myself against it properly.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to say, I'm going to walk straight away from the wall and see if there's another wall directly opposite me, much closer than back there, if you know what I mean. And I'm going to try to just walk forwards, moving both hands out in front as I go, zombie style,
Do you not think you were near a corner if the sound changed?
You so you walk away from the wall, arms wide open.
Tap.
Yep.
Do your tapping.
Yes, I will do the tapping, and perpendicular to the wall essentially.
And
Yes,
I'll do my crinkling.
Carefully stepping 1 meter, 2 meters. Before it's 3, your left hand touches up against metal, seemingly a wall. Your right hand misses it, but as you sort of reach around a little bit, you find that it is a corner, and
Right.
it suggests that maybe you are at the cusp of a narrower section.
Is it an inward or an outward corner?
Going away.
Yeah. Okay. So the good news is I found the way out of this room. I have no idea if that's a good place to go, you understand, but I found the way out of this room. Where I am, I'm right on the outside of a corner. So if I sort of point my right arm in front of me, it points back into the room where we started and vaguely in the direction of the body. But if I try that with my left hand, I hit a wall. So where we are now is basically where the room we started in becomes a narrower corridor.
That's good. Right?
I'm going to follow this wall and see if because I have this, I can't explain it, but I have this feeling that in any maze, you should follow a single wall, whether left or right, it doesn't matter, but you just stay on the same wall. And what you've done is you've crossed a gap and you're on a different wall.
Yes. But I'm only a couple of meters away from you.
Right, so I'm going to see if this, where we are now, if this wall turns a corner and then comes up to form the other half of the corridor, room, whatever you're standing next to, if that makes sense. The opening.
All right, well, how about we try and stay roughly parallel to each other and work down the walls together?
Because I think we're going to be approaching a corner soon. Luke, can I just start walking in the direction we were already walking in,
You
with
can.
Ben tapping on my right,
Mhm.
and I'm looking for the corner that I can then turn right towards Theo.
So ultimately, you're looking at, if you're on separate walls of 2.5 meters apart,
Mhm.
you're walking down your wall and you want him to walk down the other wall,
No.
tapping, so you're doing it at the same time.
No. Jane said I should stay where I am for the moment, so I will.
Yeah, I want to see if there's a corner here that brings this wall up towards Theo, and if that leads to a doorway or some kind of, generally rooms don't have they have doors, they have divides, and a room and a corridor are two separate things, and so I want to understand whether or not there's a corner and then a doorway.
You your natural feeling position was lower. As you walked around, you were feeling that, if you
The
remember
metal railing.
that strip, the metal strip sort of
Yeah.
thing along the side. So you follow that. It's comforting to you because it's what you've known from being next to the wall. There's a sense of security against the wall that you don't get in the darkness, in the space. You feel like you're not going to get lost so quickly. You continue forwards 1 meter, 2 meter. Your finger flicking over paper, laminated. Are they signs? Are they warnings? Who knows? 3 meters. 4 meters, maybe there's bits of walls that are slightly corroded, slightly rusted. 5 meters.
Okay, I'm going to stop at 5 meters if there's no corner, and I'm going to start crunching and calling out again. I've got about 5 meters and there's no corner yet.
Okay. I'm gonna come in your direction, but on the other
Opposite
wall.
side.
Okay.
So I'm touching the wall with my left hand, and I'm going to stretch up my right hand into the middle of the room. And so if you're touching that wall with your right hand and stretching your left hand into the middle of the room, maybe we'll brush fingers.
Yeah. Yes. Angle your right arm downwards at like 45 degrees. If I do the same with my left, we should like cross arms as we pass.
Yes. Maxwell, are you there? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm still here. Can you not hear the paper noises?
Oh, I didn't realize just. I stopped making my. I think it's fair to assume that I'm still making mine, but I just worry that the noise is going to be deeply, deeply irritating after a while.
Yeah. Is Maxwell? Are you following Jane along that wall?
Maxwell, upon hearing this, will take a step out from the wall and attempt to walk, because I've got noise right from both of them.
Yep.
So he attempt to split the difference between the two of them,
clever.
just in case.
Okay. So I'm going to start clicking my fingers on my right hand in the middle of the corridor.
Good. Okay. And I will start working down the wall in the same direction, but the right hand wall.
So as the as Jane starts to click, and Theo starts to work his way down the side of his wall, and Maxwell takes a step out, listening to the noise, and sort of a meter in, a step and a bit in, keeping an arm out slightly in front of him, hoping for the best. He takes a step down the middle, 1 meter, 2 meters,
Still clicking.
3 meters for both.
Still tapping.
Theo, it's wall. It's just wall as far as you can tell. Jane starts to move her arm sort of slightly forwards and backwards, as if sort of beckoning Maxwell forwards. And it's at this moment, as she sort of moves her arm slightly back towards him, where he's coming, she feels something there. There is it feels like an arm, a leg aside, just in that space. Which
Please tell me that's you, Maxwell.
Well, that's funny because Maxwell's just felt it as well as he walked forward. Something he suddenly finds himself walking into something fleshy, human that As he makes contact, it sort of pushes away from him, and there's a slight creaking, and it swings back into him.
Oh no!
There's a
Yeah,
slight
it's definitely me.
creaking.
It's a no. Yeah, I don't like. Okay, is it? Maxwell, is something suspended from the ceiling?
Something definitely swung.
Can you rotate it?
He'll try and, as it bumps back into him, he'll try and spin it around.
As you grab hold of it, you find yourself grabbing up what feels like at your height, where you're reaching maybe a human waist level. You sort of feel a waist, the outside of a leg, as you try to spin it. It feels like the sound of like a plimsoll just dropping to the ground as you spin it around.
It definitely spins.
Okay. Click your fingers, because if I'm right, I don't. Just click your fingers, and I'll come and feel.
Duck noise, duck noise, duck noise.
Okay. I'm gonna make my way to Maxwell, and I'm gonna very gently pat my hands down the body, whether that's the front of the body or the back of the body, and I'm
No,
fully
that's me.
expecting. Okay. Put my hand on the thing that's swinging.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
As you pat your hand, you start at the front, I guess, and you feel
Exactly what I
female-
was expecting.
You feel
Yeah.
female breasts
I
underneath
think we
your
found
hands and
Claire.
the front, but as your hands continue down, you feel something maybe bulky in her pockets, and then down to her legs and her knees that seem to be there,
Is she
and up.
cold?
Yeah.
Cold and completely not moving. Is she stiff? Can I move her arms? Is she ragdolly?
You can move her. She's definitely not as stiff as Davinson, if that is indeed who it was.
But is she
As you
moving
can
at all?
She's not moving. If any movement is due to you.
Can we try and get her down, guys? We might be able to revive her. Look, if I hold her and push her up by the knees, let's assume that she's hanging. Can somebody? I don't know which of you is tall, but can one of you? Maybe she's hanging from the pipes that you were following earlier. If I try and hold her up, can you try and feel if there's a knot or something that we can release her by?
Yeah. I mean, I'll stretch up and see how high I can go, and feel up for some kind of rope or otherwise that would be.
Also,
causing
guys,
someone to hang.
potential trigger warning. So, if this is a sensitive spot for you guys, come back in about 10 minutes. We'll let you know.
We certainly will. I'll give that a moment. Should I say, Maxwell, you reach up and you do indeed feel that the pipe from earlier. There does appear to be a pipe running down the middle of the space that you've been walking, the route you've been taking, and you do see, you do feel wire, so very similar to the wire you've got in your pocket, hung around it.
Is there an obvious point of like a tie or something that I can attempt to undo?
It feels like it's been, like when you take wire and you twist it together lots.
Yeah.
It's like twisting like like that. It's all been twisted up together.
So he'll attempt to start untwisting.
It's hard, of course, without you sort of find you have to lift the body somewhat with one hand to allow yourself a bit of leeway with the twist.
It's okay. I'm holding her by her knees, so I'm trying to push her up.
Which helps immensely, and with that pushing up, you are able to untwist it. It takes a little bit of elbow grease and time and effort, but you do manage to. And there's a point where the wires just give way and they split both
Theo,
sides of the pipe.
can you help? I don't want to drop her.
And you do suddenly feel a lot of weight on you, Jane, as you do seem to be taking sudden.
Yeah, I'll
99
step in the
Well,
direction of the noise and see if I can grab hold as well.
I'm gonna try and feel. I'm holding her with one arm, and my other arm, I'm gonna try and feel for a neck and release anything that might be around it.
Yeah, you release the wires around it. It's definitely dug into it, and it's unpleasant. But you do remove it to give her a moment of respite, I guess.
And can we lay her down on the floor? Can I do ABC, feel for pulse, see if she's got a heartbeat, breathing, the whole bit?
You can lay her on the floor. There is none of those things.
Fuck.
I mean, I don't want to be. Yeah, I don't want to be too pragmatic, but at least this solves the problem. There was definitely light in this room at some point, right? Because that doesn't happen without being able to see.
Yeah.
Surely.
Or potentially someone else in the room who can see in the dark.
The chances are, yes.
It had to have been somebody else. She's inches off the floor. You can't jump inches off the floor and do the twisty tie bit in many jumps.
But it would be more likely that person had light to be able to see than they could see in the dark.
Yes.
There's something in her pocket. Should we try and figure out what that is?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Something was mentioned, wasn't it? I can't remember the detail, but yeah, something was there. So give it a shot.
I'm Jane's quite shaken by this.
Me too.
She's gonna back away to the wall where she was secure, and she's gonna carry on quite anxiously tugging on her plastic now.
Yeah.
As you do that, you feel into the pocket. There appears to be a card, a plastic card, a half-empty plastic package with very much this. Your rustling tells you that it's the same plastic as what you have in your hand, and what you can tell is what feels like a dictaphone.
I think we've got another message.
Okay.
Or the same message again.
Well, we're going to have to play it and see what it says, aren't we?
Can we play it not near the corpse? I just need to move on.
Yeah. Let's
We can keep on down the corridor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get a few meters away and then we'll play.
All right. Then what I will do is I will step back to the wall I was on, the one on the right as we were heading down the corridor. And I will start moving forward again.
No. Put out your hand. Let Maxwell be in between us so that all three of us are joined.
Good
because
idea.
Also, I'm very comfortable with Maxwell being in the middle of the room.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, if we both hold out our arms, then Maxwell can literally hold our wrists. It's only 2.5 meters across.
I've got to retrieve the box of stuff that I put down at some point to get Claire. So I'm gonna put that under my arm that I'm stretching out towards Maxwell because 2.5 meters isn't that much. So I'm presuming that I can hold stuff under my arm while I'm holding somebody's hand.
Max will take a few minutes to fumble around for a forehead and then run his fingers down and just make sure the eyes are closed.
Actually, I'm sorry. Maybe this is a bit mercenary, but I'm sort of feeling like a bit threatened. So I think the normal social niceties should go out the window, and I think maybe we need to start using Claire's boiler suit as a bag. Any objections?
None.
As long as I'm not the one doing it, I don't feel particularly comfortable.
Okay.
Socks, roll a d10 for me, please.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, this has me actually quite
You
shaken.
okay? You okay?
Yeah. Okay, I rolled an 8. We haven't had an 8 yet. That's exciting.
You have had an 8.
Oh.
That was your first food memory of banana sandwiches. Roll another one.
I have that as a 12.
Oh. Is that? Oh, then it is an 8. No, I did the wrong one then. Sorry. An 8 then. Well, that is a food memory. It's a food memory. You can do a 12. Your earliest. So, like the repurposing of something. Going away from the horror of the soup. Just the idea of like repurposing something.
Yeah.
Or something being repurposed. Just gives you a flash of a really early memory in your childhood.
I go back to Claire, and I'm starting to, just very carefully and respectfully take off her boiler suit, and then I'm suddenly remembering how I would, when the sheets were hung out in the garden to dry on a summer day, I would hide among them, and I would release the washing line, so that the sheets hung just brushing the grass, and I would hide inside them like I was in a cloud, because I didn't understand clouds, and I wanted to know, and I wanted to be in them. And I'm trying really hard to communicate this, but I'm really super emotional, and suddenly there's a sense of security and wonder while I'm stripping a corpse in a place where I don't know what's happening. Yeah, and I don't really communicate this well. I just keep saying I was in the clouds. I was in the clouds. Yeah, fun. Anyway,
It feels like a really happy memory.
Oh yeah, it was great.
This is what you need right this second, a properly happy memory.
Yeah. But while she does that, she takes off Claire's boiler suit. She puts her very carefully and gently on the ground. She's completely aware that this is at odds with what she feels is her moral code, but also she really wants to survive. So she does up the boiler suit. She ties knots in the tops of both legs, and then ties those around her waist. And then she puts the food and the cans of water inside the kind of the body, and then ties the arms around her shoulders. So it's kind of like a backpack.
At that moment, I'd like to say to Slay and anyone else that we'd like to think that this is totally a safe space for you guys, and we've always give you total time, whether there's death or murder or weird stuff. We totally got here, yeah. So thank you for joining us this evening for whatever weird stuff is going on here. Okay. Socks is back. That's good. Okay, vanished for a minute. Was it me that vanished or Socks that vanished?
It was me. Completely pressed the back button.
Cool. Okay, that's good. I was just telling Slay how much it was a safe space, and then
Slay,
you vanished.
bless your lovely heart. I'm sorry.
The group hugs are kicking off now.
How long do you have until you're home and safe, Slay?
Are we going to run that long? However long you need, we got it.
Well, I'm just thinking we could possibly take a break.
We could do.
We can certainly do that.
I could sing a song while there's a break on. Okay.
Okay.
We can take a break anyway. We've been running for an hour or so. I could do with a wee. If everyone wants to hang around for a bit, that might be quite nice. Just think about hiding in clouds for a little while.
Clouds in the washing.
Think of the clouds in the washing.
Freshly cut grass.
Ah, lovely. A sprinkler that someone turns on. Your mum comes out. She's upset because the washing's out. But it's all funny.
I think though maybe we need to mark this stream as a horror stream.
I'll add it to the thing. Take care, Russ. Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Thank you. We love you. I know Fiddy adores you. This
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
It's because every time I watch one of Russ's streams, Russ makes amazing maps, but every time I watch one of Russ's streams, she's always got a bit of shoulder going on. And it's, I don't know, I appreciate a good shrug.
Wow.
What can I say?
And it turns out we are a big shoulder stream. It appears.
We are. We are.
Big fan of shoulders. Right, let's take 5 minutes. I need a wee and some crisps and a breath of fresh air or something.
Yeah.
And, we'll be back. The shoulder games. A very pointy shoulder.
It
All
is
right.
on point.
Yes. We'll take a quick sort of 5-10 minute break, and we will be back for part 2 of part 2.
Yeah.
You know, once we've got our heart rates under control again.
Oh, thanks, Cold Frog. Wonderful gift. We appreciate you.
Thank
See
you
later,
very
Russ.
much.
Right.
Cheers.
Back in 5. Hang around, guys.
Back in a few.
Welcome back, and welcome to the four people that just joined when we said that it was violent. There is death and depictions in this, so it was felt that we should probably put a warning out there for those that are used to our cheerier streams, I guess. So where we left it, there was a dead body of a hung lady, as we can tell, and our party of, I'm not calling them heroes, we don't know if they're heroes yet. Our party of three, Theo, Maxwell, and Jane, have found some kind of dictaphone in her pocket, along with some other things. They've stripped her body of her jumpsuit to use as a bag to carry their supplies. Some cans of what we think are water, some bags of what we think might be food, and some other bits and pieces. And this is where we join them in some kind of corridor situation. It's definitely narrower than the room they were in. Everything's in the dark if you've just joined us. I'm keeping descriptions to a minimum, dice rolls to a minimum, and I leave it mostly to the three. And so I'll pass over to them now.
Are you happy with the distance now? Should we listen to this? Jane?
We
Yeah.
haven't moved off very far, have we?
I've got your hand, right? Maxwell, that's your hand? That's definitely your hand.
It's definitely my hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've got the wall on this side, and I've got our food,
Yep.
and
And I've
okay.
got the other wall, the right hand wall, and I've got Maxwell to my left.
Okay.
So we're
Yeah.
gonna Dorothy it down the corridor, three abreast.
I like to think at this point that Maxwell's picked up on the on Jane's reaction to what we've just found, and he's holding out his hand. It's not necessarily gripping back, but it's there for her if she needs it.
No, she's definitely holding Maxwell's hand.
Okay. Right.
Because it's warm, and it's the warmest thing here. It's warm.
It's alive,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So she's holding your hand quite tightly, bless her.
Well, let's advance just a couple of meters down the corridor, get away from the corpse.
Yeah,
Claire.
sure.
Hi, Claire.
Claire. I mean, we don't actually know that, to be fair.
Probably Claire.
We don't want it to be anybody other than Claire, really, let's be honest.
Ideally, I mean, I say ideally, but yeah, it would be best if we don't stumble into any more, put it that way. So I'm going to start moving down that wall to the right slowly, so we don't run any risk of losing touch with each other.
Shall we count? So we're like doing it in a march, all at the same pace. Like 1, 2, left, right. I don't know. Does anybody have a better idea?
No, that's fine. It would be nice to
Okay.
hear the voices anyway as we do it.
Okay. Should we sing a song? Do we know any song? Do you know a song?
Do you remember that song from the
Roll the
Elephant
dice.
song?
You. Do you remember that song? Roll the dice, please.
He was about to give you C'est la vie! You busted
That's
his
a-
groove, man!
That's a 6.
And one more.
That's a 3.
Okay, that is 9. So as you're saying, do you remember that song? That you suddenly get a sudden flash of a memory connected to nature that will feed into the song that you suggest.
It's funny. I just got a really strong memory, which I feel like sharing. Seeing as would, what was it? Rule number 2. Be honest, or was that rule number 1? Either way,
Yeah.
I got this vivid memory of me as a child watching this movie. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I don't know if you can remember seeing it. The Jungle Book. Do you remember the elephant song where they count? There's nature in it.
Sing it.
Yeah, I can't sing it
Why not?
because I'm embarrassed. You're both looking at me.
The
I'll tell you what. If we make it out of this alive, I'll I'll sing it to you. Yeah, they count. They do a little marching thing. It's a whole thing.
Genuinely, I thought you were about to break into Born Free. It's fine.
We can do that if you want. We can march to Born Free. Do you want to sing that? Let's sing that.
Sure. I mean, it's ironic given the circumstances.
I'm going to be honest. It feels quite freeing being here. I know we're trapped and we have no idea where we are, but we can, there are no rules. There's no.
Oh, look,
there's
Slay, take it out.
on us.
Well, there we go.
That's the one.
What do you mean that's the one? You can't just leave it at that.
2, 3, 4. Keep it up. 2, 3, 4. It's your song, Ewan.
Yeah. There was no content warning for you and singing, though, so I feel I shouldn't enforce that upon people. They can imagine. Theatre of the mind. But thanks, Slay.
Well, we're singing that song, guys, apparently.
Okay.
But
It's got counting, it's got marching. It's, I had this sudden urge of a memory to do with nature.
Okay. I'm just going to start moving along the wall and saying 1,
2.
2.
3.
As you, basically, as you say 2,
Yeah.
Ben.
No, I
Theo,
said 2. Oh, Ben says 2. Okay.
But at sort of the 2 meter mark, Jane, while your finger's still touching the side, Theo, your fingertips leave the edge. The wall seems to vanish away from you.
Can I feel around the corner? I mean, is it in fact a right angle corner?
Like tugging back slightly on Maxwell's hand as the two of them sort of have taken half another step, you do feel
do you
that
swing us
have
around in a
found the-
massive arc?
you do find that it's a wall that's opening up.
Okay,
Yeah,
I've got a
so
corner on the right,
Oh,
In or outward?
like a right-hand turn.
Oh. Let me just go forward a couple of paces. Do I feel anything? Is there a corner near me, Luke?
Are you still holding hands?
Yeah, but we're concertinaed up, so we can stretch out a bit.
You can't feel any corner. It's still a straight wall.
It goes straight ahead here.
how wide is we were in? How wide was the corridor we were in?
2.5
Two
meters.
and a half
About 2.5
meters.
meters.
Like,
In theory,
8
if we go,
feet-ish.
if you go forward 2.5 meters, Jane, then
We can stretch out a bit.
Yeah. Well, Maxwell, sorry, that's me. Theo, come away from the wall a little bit. Things are confusing.
if I step out away from the angle and just keep my fingers on the corner, then in theory, if this is a bend in the corridor, we should find the inside corner. On the other hand, if it's like another identical room, we won't.
Yeah.
You do not find a corner.
But also,
that
we did not agree whether we're following our wall, the left wall, or the right wall.
I'm following 2 hands at this moment.
Yeah. I'm on the right-hand wall where there's just been a corner.
I know you are, but we haven't followed that wall consistently. I'm on the wall that we followed consistently.
That's right. So what that means is it looks like what we're looking at, in my brain at least, and we haven't explored the second part yet. So just take this as a stab in the dark, if you'll forgive the rather unfortunate illusion. It could be that this is another room like the one we started in,
Is there a door frame?
and they're
Or
just
anything
connected
yeah.
by a corridor across the top, if that makes sense.
That was my first thought. Maybe Theo, if you could just feel around to see if that is whether
And
it's an
see on the
actual
floor
corner
if
or a
there's
door
like,
frame.
you know that
Like a
tread that
recessed
they
door.
put where 2 pieces of lino join up together? Is there one of those, like the metal strips that hides the join?
That's a good idea. Yeah, if I crouch down a little bit, can I find that metal strip on this wall?
Yep, the metal strip is still there.
Okay.
And it goes around that corner. It goes out a little bit proud, and then it
Is
goes
it
around the corner.
folded around the corner, or is there a sort of point? Is there a junction there, like an angle?
It's folded. It's folded.
It's folded. It's wrapped around. Okay.
And what about on the floor? Like, is the flooring must join, I presume?
I'll keep going down. Put my hand all the way down to where the corner meets the floor, and see if I can find a seam, a weld, or any kind of junction on either of the two perpendicular angles.
So the floor, the metallic floor, is not perfect. It's sort of throughout the place. It's been a bit welded together at times, anyway. But there's no like specific sudden right angled join, something that suggests something like that.
Is the floor? Can I feel the floor as well? And is it solid, or is it like a grate? Like, are there holes that I could?
It's good question. It's solid.
It's solid.
Okay. All right.
I suddenly feel like I'm playing Alien Isolation. And I feel like Luke's about to laugh at me because I'm not going to get to the locker in time.
There's suddenly a bip there's suddenly a beep from the from your scanner.
Where's the save point? There's a ladder behind me and I refuse to use it.
Yeah. Okay, well, we need to make a choice, because if we're going to stay together, we've got to follow one of these walls. Are we going to stay with the wall on the left that you're following, Jane? In which case I'll let go of this corner and we'll work our way around and see if this...
Well, what's on the other side? Like, if we keep going forward, is it just a much bigger room?
We don't know yet.
Well, let's take a couple of steps forward and see if that's also a 2.5 meter corridor that's opened up.
Well, we know it's not a 2.5 meter corridor. We'd be able to feel the other side of it, even on a 90-degree, on a 45-degree angle.
Let's just keep going straight. That's my vote. There's 3 of us, so we can't get deadlocked.
No, I think that's fine. In that case, you've got the lead now. If you're happy to do that.
Okay.
I've had an interesting idea.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Say for example, we don't, so it's kind of pointless. But say for example, we had a long length of rope. We could tie it to the leg of Mousalini and set him free. Surely he knows. If he's scared enough, he'll find some way to hide, right? Or run away.
We could tie it to each other and then give it 2 tugs like a diving line. Wait, do I know how to?
Oh, but he'll know a way out. Is my only thought.
Yeah, well, that's possible, unless...
I mean, it might be a very small way. But...
I mean, I sort of hate to bring this up, but he may be hungry and not go in a useful direction.
And we did just leave Claire behind.
Yeah. Okay. It was just a thought.
No, it's not a bad idea.
But we could tie ourselves to each other.
Yeah, but again, this is, if we had a rope, because...
Yeah.
We're wearing clothes.
Well, I'm half wearing clothes.
That's fair.
Is everyone happy if I press play now?
Press play.
Yes, good idea.
Oh.
Useful information could be forthcoming.
Before we make a decision, just in case. And Maxwell will fumble around for a play button on the dictaphone.
You press it in, and all 3 of you hear a voice ring out in the darkness. Theo, Carla, Winston, Claire, Simone. Theo. Inside this box is food and drink. I'm afraid you'll be in this space for a long time. Make sure your supplies last. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry.
Play it again? Can you play it again?
Yeah, I'll rewind. Or try to. Press play.
All three of you hear a voice ring out in the darkness. Theo, Carla, Winston, Claire, Simone. Inside this box is food and drink. I'm afraid you'll be in this space for a long time. Make sure your supplies last. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry.
Theo and Claire have
What?
been mentioned on both tapes.
What were the names on the first tape? Claire
Ours
Davinson.
plus Claire and
Davinson.
Darrington. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Claire and
And
Theo.
James
So-
Maxwell.
so Claire and me were on the other tape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You two
And the
weren't
rest-
on this tape,
And the rest are new.
and the rest are new. Which I
Um,
have to say,
this-
sorry to say it, but it implies that we're in round 2.
And there's 5 names on each.
Yeah.
I suppose the good news for you, Theo, is that you survived round 1. So
Yeah,
And
that's
Claire.
possibly a good news.
Ben, could you roll a d10, please?
If you absolutely insist.
I feel
roll
he
a
does.
d20. Oh, but, of course I insist.
That's a 5.
And another? Just
9.
keep making you roll. Just keep making you roll d10s now. 9.
Endless D10s.
That the conversation about it's the second round, you survived, and so on. That survival, and that takes triggers you back a memory, something to do with nature from the past. That rule 1, be honest.
I don't know what this tape means, but I do get a little bit of just a flash of something from my past. I don't know what age I was, but I can remember hunting deer.
With like a gun and stuff.
With a rifle.
Deer hunter.
I'm only getting these little flashes of my past, but I can remember hunting deer with a rifle. Yes.
Did you? Okay, when you found the body. Wait, who found the body? Maxwell, you found the body, right?
I
The
found the
first
first
one?
body.
Okay, the first body. Did you definitely pat the body down?
Yes.
Like there
I
was
searched
nothing
it.
in the pockets at all?
Yeah, we had a card from there, and I think that might have been it, actually.
Just a card. Do you still have the card on you?
Yes.
Can I
Oh
feel
no,
it?
I think I had a key as well from it.
No,
which
no,
we
I had the
used on-
key.
We used the key.
Oh, you gave me the key, and then that's how we got the food.
Is there anything embossed on the card?
We
That's
tried
what
that.
I'm
It's
wondering.
smooth. Yes, I'm pretty sure I've still got the card. Do you need it?
No, I was just curious if there was anything raised, like a number or symbols or.
No, sorry. It's just, it's probably got stuff written all over it that would be useful information, but what with the dark and all.
Okay, let's keep going through this corridor. And just see where we end up.
Okay. So if we stay basically in contact with each other,
Yeah.
and Maxwell effectively goes to the wall immediately behind you, then
No. What? He's still in the middle of us.
Exactly. So if he goes to the wall immediately behind you, and so that as you go round, he'll follow you around the edge.
No. I'm following my wall.
Exactly. And he can follow it behind you.
But then you won't be able to reach the other side.
We won't be able to reach the other side anyway. It's already too big for that.
But what I'm saying is, it might just be a gap, and then the wall comes back with another corner.
It's worth a try. Yeah,
We won't know unless you're there.
it's worth a try.
So Luke, can we continue walking apace of each other?
Yep.
So wait. So while holding hands.
Yeah,
We're holding hands.
We'll
My
stay.
head's on the wall.
So what happened? You reached. So your hand was still going flat on the wall, so along that
Yeah.
that runner. Theo, you reached that corner. So I guess are you stopping there while the others go forward, because you're going to go at right angles to them at the moment. Otherwise, Jane keeps walking forwards.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay level with Jane as best I can.
You find, Theo, that as Jane walks forwards and she's not finding a corner, that the three of you, that sort of the holding hands become more and more stretched until you're almost like fingertips to fingertips, and Jane still can't find a corner. The three of you are stretched at full distance and Jane can't quite find a corner.
No. We're all moving forward together.
That's
Right,
right.
he'll move into the dark. So Theo's going to move into the darkness, not holding anything.
I'm going to be holding on to Maxwell.
Yeah.
Me.
So okay, so you'll have to
We're
let go of
walking
the wall
three
at this point.
abreast,
Yeah.
as close as we can
Okay.
get it to in a row perpendicular to the wall.
Yeah. So
Perfect.
and we're stretching we probably cover a distance of nearly 4 meters between us all stretched out together like that.
Someone's got monkey arms.
Well,
Yeah.
no, it's just let's say 150 centimeters each. In fact, 4.5 meters. No.
No, about 3 meters. With his arm out. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to walk forwards, and with the trust that Theo is just going to walk forwards.
Yep.
Okay, you walk forwards. 1 meter, 2 meters, 3 meters. Socks your hands, runs across, following that strip that you know so well. 4 meters. The other two of you just trusting your feet. Your mind's running over things that have been tripped over or bumped into in the past, almost wincing as you go. About 6 meters, maybe. Jane, you feel a corner coming inwards to the right. So an internal corner.
Oh, I've got a corner. I've got it turns inwards, so it's left, and then it cuts across in front of me.
So it looks like we are looking at a mirror image room, basically.
Perhaps. And I
Okay.
haven't felt any doorway. There's been no kind of break in the strip.
Not so far. Okay. Then
You're such a doofus. I love you.
Thanks.
Well, let's just follow the corner then and see if we get back to your gap.
well, I suspect we've got a room to explore in order to get there. So, if we now line up along the wall that you've been walking down.
Yeah.
So essentially, if Maxwell stands next to you,
Yeah.
behind you in terms of the direction you have been walking,
So he's like the fulcrum.
and then I
And we
will
rotate
come and
around him.
stand behind him in a row. So we're all against the wall you've been walking down,
Yeah.
We'll all stand
and then
against that
we're
wall.
moving forward again.
and then we can set off in a line
Yeah.
at 90 degrees to where we have been going, and work our way down the outside
But
wall
it's-
again.
Yeah, it's my expectation though that this wall is just going to join up with the far wall. That it's the sack, the cul-de-sac, almost of the room. I'm hoping.
I wouldn't be at all surprised if this side is a mirror image of the room we started in. So
Okay.
essentially, we've got another full room to explore yet. All we've done is find the one corner of it. 2 to go.
Okay. So we do this thing where our backs are all against all we've just explored, and then 3, 2, 1, we all step forward together and continue moving forward.
Yeah.
Socks, roll a d10, please.
Okay. I'm getting quite panicked when you tell me to roll now. 5.
There's a moment where holding Maxwell's hand in the darkness is that sense of taking a risk, uncertainty. Although your hand is against the wall, still knowing that you and the other two are stepping out into an unknown space, and that the two of them are trusting in you, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You get a flashback to a memory of a previous loved one.
I can't explain it, but this is reminding me of my grandfather and how we would go exploring, and it would always be okay, even if it got scary, because he was always there and he was holding my hand, and we could go anywhere and I'd be okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's how I feel. And she straightens up and her grip loosens a little bit, and she sort of pulls herself together a bit.
And Maxwell can definitely sense that change in the hand grip, and it almost feels like an assuredness passes down the line, I suppose, as you all take that first step and that second step. You feel that very that strip that you're so used to now. It's almost like your left hand has like spent 90% of the last couple of hours in this room touching that strip, and suddenly the strip vanishes, and there's maybe 30 centimeters of open metal, and then a horizontal handle.
Guys, I have a door. I think I have a door. Can I stop and I'm still holding Maxwell's hand, but can I stop and like really urgently feel with my left hand, like if there's a door frame, if there's a handle, if there's like some kind of window indent, what the door's made of, if the handle. Well, I'm not going to try the handle and see if it's locked or not. I'm just going to see, like, if it's within a frame or just I want to understand what the store is.
You sort of feel around. You sort of the handle itself is a horizontal tube that's connected to the wall or the doorway or whatever it is, with the metal fastenings. So if you were to put your hand as if you were revving a motorbike or a bicycle, that would be the way you would pull it or push it or whatever, like that. Around it, as you feel around it, maybe about it feels like there's an edge that's about a meter square, but maybe 30 centimeters to one side, 30 centimeters to the other side, maybe 30 centimeters above it. It doesn't feel like a door, but
it's
it
like
feels
a hatch.
like maybe something like that.
Is it above the ground?
If you feel down the bottom half, there does feel to be it's like hinged at the bottom maybe, but it's like 30 centimeters above the ground.
30. Okay, this is and how big is it? Like is it like the size of my elbow to my finger, or is it more than that?
What's the hatch?
Yeah,
it's a meter square. As you feel up, so it's from about 30 centimeters down to about a meter 30 up. So it's below your head, and I'm assuming you're not that short, are you, in the game?
No, I'm not that short.
No.
About 5'5".
Yeah. So and then it is pretty much a meter square, with that handle like pretty much in the middle, but to the top of the middle.
And I relay all of this to the other two and ignore what Ben just wrote in chat. I've got a handle, I've got a door. I haven't tried the handle, and I think it's a hatch. Almost like something you'd. I don't know what they're called. In those really old houses where you have the where you could put stuff in them to carry it between floors. You know those. It feels like a service.
A dumb waiter.
A dumb weight. Yes.
I don't think there's any need to throw insults around.
Look, if you were the waiter, no shade. Maxwell.
I felt like you almost forgot my name for a minute there.
No, I wouldn't forget your name. Why would I? Shall I open this? Shall we see if it will open?
Yeah,
Well-
it's a good idea.
Okay.
Let's at least find out.
Okay. Okay. She's kind of gearing herself up a bit. She's now gripping Maxwell's hand quite tightly, and what she's doing, she's bracing her shoulder on the opposite side of the door to the handle, and she's going to reach across the door, try the handle, and if it gives an open, she's pushing it in and then retreating really quickly. It's her intention.
So are you pushing or pulling? Or a bit of both?
Pushing. Well, yeah, a bit of both. Like just whichever way it gives, if it gives at all.
As you push and you push harder and harder, and it doesn't seem to go that way. But as you sort of take a moment and you pull back, there's a creaking. The sound pierces. You know, the metallic creaking is quite shocking. It's not loud, but it's shocking in the silence. And then it starts to come away, but it doesn't feel like it comes away straight. It feels like it comes away at an angle, like it's hinged at the bottom somewhat.
Like it's a hatch door, like it drops down, like a...
Yeah, so the handle's coming... The further you pull the handle towards you, the further it goes down, yeah.
It's a drop-down door that is hinged at the bottom. Are there, like, hinges? You know those metal hinges that you get that kind of hold something at a 90-degree angle when you flip it down?
So are you sort of feeling around it as you pull on it?
Yeah, I want to see, like, the construction of the door as it flops down.
So as you pull the handle down, as you sort of go to let go to feel the sides, it sort of starts to go up a little bit. So you hold it with like your elbow, and then not wanting to let go, I guess you start to feel around the edge with your hand, and either side there's like metal sides, almost like an American letterbox or something like that, or a waste chute or something like that. You know, like a garbage chute or something.
Oh. Can I smell it? Really discreetly, can I just like not a whole sniff, but like a gentle... I'm looking for some scent of like detergent or antibacterial cleanser, or the opposite. I'm suspecting that this might be a laundry shaft.
You smell it. It feels like it's been cleaned more with a bleach cleanser than a clothes cleansing cleaner.
Right.
As you sort of like moving it around a bit, you sort of hear a slight metallic clatter in it, as if there's something in the shooty bit.
I close that fucking door as fast as I can. Bang, done. There's something in it. It smells bleachy, and there's something moving in there.
It was a metallic clattering against metallic rather than an arm or something like that.
Don't care. There was a sound that wasn't made by me.
How wide and tall was it?
Like a meter by a meter, and the hatch dropped down, and then feeling inside, it kind of opened into like a metal chute. It felt like a laundry or rubbish, or, you know, some way of getting rid of things efficiently. Like, for example, Claire's body. Or...
But that's not what's happened, though, is it?
Not yet.
If it was for that, it's not been used for that.
Well, smell it. It's been bleached. Recently.
No. I don't. I'm just thinking out loud. Sorry, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying that.
Put your ear up against it and tell me what you hear.
If that's what it was for, and Maxwell feels around for the door and puts his ear up against it.
You sort of feel the handle, so you're giving it like a tug. Is that the plan, or are you just listening into it?
No. He'll just feel where the handle is and put his ear up against it, against the shut.
Okay. You can feel the handle. You sort of feel it. You don't push or pull. You're listening, and there's nothing. There's no sound coming from inside it at this point.
I can't hear anything.
Can I if I'm aware where it is, because we've all been sort of clustered around it at this point, haven't we? Can I find out if there's another one above it?
You can, and there isn't, from what you can tell. Directly above
just
it, there
solid
is no
metal
other thing.
wall as usual.
As is, yeah. You reach up to the ceiling. You know, you feel it. You
Yeah.
feel that you feel that it's the ceiling. There's not even the pipe overhead at this point. It just goes straight up to that ceiling, and that's it. You're on your tiptoes, of course, at this point. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So broadly speaking, we have a couple of choices. We can continue exploring this room and see what else is in here, in case there's an exit that doesn't involve crawling down the chute of death.
Or another body.
Well,
It's all about framing. If you call it the chute of death, then it's kind of a leading statement.
I would just point out that, you know how we said for a while we were sort of hoping that was Claire because it would be bad news if it wasn't.
Mm.
Well, now it could be any
well,
number
yeah.
of people.
It
There
could
are-
in
there
fact be Carla or Simone.
Yes. Yeah. Or Winston.
The first one could have been Winston.
Yeah.
Or Davinson.
So the problem fundamentally is that there may be 3 other bodies in this room,
Mm.
or as you rightly point out, they may have been shoved down the recently bleached chute
Of death.
of death.
Mm.
Given how quickly you slammed that door, and I don't blame you, I'm tempted to
No.
say we explore the rest of this room and find out what else is here.
Yeah.
At least find the other corners, I suppose. And if there's no other option, then we assess how we feel about it at
Yeah.
that point.
Because there may be other similar hatch doors, there may be actual real doors that people can walk through without...
I'm telling you now, I'm not opening that thing again. If one of you two wants to open it, crack on. But
There
I'm
could be a
not
light
opening
switch.
that thing again.
I may ask the rat to open it.
Let's put the rat in there. Let's
could
put the
put the
rat
rat
in the
down there.
chute.
And see what happens.
Let's put the rat in the chute.
Okay. If you're happy to do that.
It's not my rat. It's your Mussolini.
It's not technically my rat either. It's just... All right. Okay, I will crouch down by the hatch. Turn the handle and pull it open.
Mm-hmm.
Before... Can I actually rest a knee on the hatch to keep it open while I keep both hands free?
So you grab hold of the horizontal handle, and you can pull it down, and all the way down, it does probably reach. You could probably rest it with your knee. As you do, you hear that sort of metallic clatter of something inside the hatch compartment bit. Maybe a couple of bits of metal or something like that in there.
Does it sound super echoey, like it's coming from a long way down, or does it sound quite close by?
That's close by. That bit is.
Okay.
And-
Like a hatch, like a lever lodging into place or something, or like some loose chain, or
Loose things rather than some sort of latch or lever.
okay.
If I listen for a second, does it seem to have a rhythm to it? Or is it random?
When you pulled it down, when you pulled the hatch towards you, the things seemed to slide and clatter against the inside of the hatch. And then when you left it there, they just stayed there, whatever it was, what the sound was.
So effectively, as long as I'm just keeping the hatch open, there's no sound.
There's no sound.
If somebody was perhaps foolish enough to wiggle a hand in the space that's been opened by the door,
I want to find out what the angle is. Yeah.
would we touch the thing that's making the sound?
Is that what you're doing?
Maybe.
Tentatively, you feel the edge of the hatch, and you sort of run your hand almost down the inside of it, rather than into the impossible darkness, like visions of gnashing teeth or like blades or broken glass fill your mind. You know.
Oh, I'm totally thinking of Jaws right now.
Exactly. So you tend to run your hand down the inside of the hatchway. It feels a bit safe, you know, like you've done the whole time, you know, touching the side.
Yeah.
And as you run it down, you come to the bottom. It feels like maybe you have to reach quite a long way in, but maybe about 60, 70, 80 centimeters in, your hand reaches the bottom. So almost like a compartment that when it's open, you could fill it. And when you close it, it falls down into whatever's beyond.
Oh,
you know.
it's definitely like some kind of
And
shoot.
as you carefully reach around, your fingers touch this cylindrical metallic object.
Can I pull it?
You can. It comes up very quickly because it's very light.
Okay.
It appears to be a very empty can of whatever you've been drinking.
What was it stuck on?
It was just in the chute. It just didn't make it down, I guess.
Oh. Do you know, here's what I think is going to happen, guys, is we have a lovely empty chute and we're going to put the rat in it and that's going to be fine. And then we're going to close the chute and we're going to think that the rat's going to go down into whatever's underneath the chute. And then when we open the chute, we're going to find not a rat.
I agree.
What are we going to find?
That's the question mark.
I mean, if we give the chute a rat and then open it, maybe it'll give us something better in return.
Yeah, that's how chutes work.
Yeah. Okay.
Maybe it'll give us 2 rats.
I am.
What the fuck is wrong with you two?
I think that's
Okay.
rabbits you're thinking of. The
Well, it's one more than one, isn't it?
I'm going to take the
What's that?
I'm going to take the sleeve with its rat.
It's like investment ratting. Yeah.
Compound rat.
It's the
Precisely.
it's the rabbit in the hat trick that Paul Daniels never ever accomplished but always wished he had.
I'm going to take the sleeve, unknot the open end, and then hold it over the chute, over the sort of compartment.
I'm gonna half close the chute so the rat has to scramble to get out.
This is what I'm thinking, because if we close it really slowly, we may hear the moment when the rat drops. And that could give us some useful information.
Or duplicates.
So
This
I'd
is
like to drop the
this is
rat
beautiful.
into the compartment, and then
Is this
we
the
can...
moment where one of us goes, for science? Okay, let's do it.
I'm really tempted to make you roll a dice for a memory, but it's
Let's-
very niche.
Do this
So what?
fucking horrifying thing.
Okay, so carefully you remove the rat mouse. It might be a gerbil for all we know, a lovable little gerbil. It has a tail, we know that much.
And
Definitely
ears
not a hamster.
and no enormous
And-
testicles.
No.
It might be
certainly not.
Winston.
Could be. And you carefully take undo the sleeve and you sort of drape it over the edge of the chute, holding it half shut so the angle's steeper. It's tighter for the rat mouse gerbil to get out. And you hear the thud of it land inside it. And you carefully start to close it to get that angle sense of where it's going to go.
Yeah.
You hear a little bit of scrabbling, say. a little, and then you hear a slight slide, like a metallic slide, as it sort of loses its grip as you close it, and as you close it, you hear it slide off, and then sort of go, and then there's a moment, a second, a 2 second, and there's sort of you open the hatch a little bit to listen in.
Yeah.
You hear a little thud, not a few meters away, and then there's a pause, and then you hear a slight whirring, and
It's
you
like
hear
whirring, did you say?
what of a dictaphone sort of starting up where the rat has clearly landed on something,
Oh,
and you
okay.
hear, and all three of you hear a voice ring out from the chute. Winston, Claire, Simone, Henri. Inside this box is food and drink. I'm afraid you'll be in this space for a long time. Make sure your supplies last. I'm sorry. I'm truly sorry. And that's where we're going to end.
Oh, thank you. Did you
Oh,
say
was
it
that
was
only
just
four-
Winston, Claire, Simone, Henri that time?
Yes.
Was that only 4 names?
Yeah.
Yes.
No, this game is genius and horrifying.
This is okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
And also the notion that we would ever have done this in one session is hilarious.
Especially us.
It ain't going to happen, is it? This is keeping us
Well-
going to Christmas.
I have a number of thoughts. I feel at once like, and I said Jules because I feel like that woman, you know, the girl who goes out night swimming and then you see the shark from under, like her from underneath.
Yeah.
A bit like that.
Yeah.
But also, I feel a bit like a rat in like Skinner's lab, and a bit like that woman who had to find her way out of the Minotaur's labyrinth with the, was it Ariadne with the piece of cotton, and she was then turned into a spider so she could always spin a web. Her.
I'm with you on the Jaws effect, less so on the other two.
Oh, you've ruined the ending. You'll turn into spiders.
Oh, that would be worse.
Well, at least we found a productive use for the rat. We put it in the death chute of death, and
It gave us information.
it got us information. Yes.
Yeah.
And presumably that dictaphone was quite likely on the remains of one of Simone or Henri or Winston, possibly whoever.
Yeah.
Okay, so the really bad news is I didn't apparently survive round 1, but I may have survived round 2.
No, you
Yeah.
weren't in round 1.
Yeah. Worryingly, I'm not actually sure how I survived round 2.
This feels like a very bad Voyager episode, and it's going to be Harry in the holodeck not getting a promotion. That's my
right,
prediction.
I tell you, this
standing
is
in the
old
corner
boy.
just watching you.
Thank you so much,
Yeah.
guys.
Yes,
Much
thank you so
love.
much. Yes, this is the. I think this is the Battle Royale version of Old Boy.
I've now started a list of because of course we can't give them names, but numbers of dead bodies and number of unknown people. Hoping that at some point the two shall meet.
Do you know what's going to happen? Is if we meet anybody who's still alive, we're going to freak out. That's going to be a mood.
Think how
Especially
weird
if we
it's going to be for
haven't
them
already heard their
meeting
name
3
in the
people who are
versions.
still alive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
thanks so much, Luke. This is.
You're doing wonderfully. You're doing
It's
wonderfully.
great
I've got
fun.
I
all
do
the
feel
faith
like
in
we
you.
are, though. I feel like we're just like feeling up a wall.
Accurate.
You're all geniuses.
Questionable amounts of consent happening between us.
We are doing what we can. We are trying our best.
We are trying our best.
Yeah.
I mean, this is exactly the type of thing that people lose friendships over. So I think we've done very, very well, actually.
Yes,
Oh, you're storming it.
yes, absolutely.
Storming it.
Right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in and watching us be scared of the dark.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Mm.
And whether
And just to let everybody know, this is one that Luke's made up.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it's
all made up.
somebody messaged me and was like, "I really want to play this." I'm like, well, you can't buy it because it's Luke's. So I guess at some point you're gonna have to publish this because it's amazing and people already want to play it.
Yeah, it's easy, isn't it? It's just as long as you've got three idiots that are pretty good at making
Aye.
stuff up on the fly, it's easy, isn't
2.5.
it? 2.5.
The 2.5 idiots that are available for hire if anyone does want to know. And it's short
Is that
2.5 idiots.
It's another height joke on Ewan's behalf.
and our rates are frankly stupidly low.
No, half is too generous, Luke.
Right. Yes. Thank you so much. Whether catching us
Yeah.
live or on VOD, we always appreciate a view. So thank you very much indeed. And I hope you had some fun watching us make fools of ourselves, groping around in the dark and trying not to trip over any dead
I
bodies.
just really like how often we said the word grope this evening.
Yeah.
That's a really big moment for me. Thanks.
It's
That's good to know
definitely
going forward as well.
stream, I'd say. Yeah, it's beautiful. Right,
Okay.
Cool.
go to bed, everyone. Go to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Mhm.
Thank you all. Take care,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you. And
Sleep well.
Good night.
good night.
Bye.
Good night.